Hundreds of business owners paid $700 to listen to this talk that I'm about to give you for free. I recently had the chance to speak at a conference for Amazon sellers, and this 20-minute presentation contains the key that has allowed me to scale multiple seven-figure businesses in my early 20s. No matter what industry you're in, the top entrepreneurs can almost always trace their success back to this one thing that I'm going to break down today. So no matter what your niche is, take notes on this video, implement the strategies that I'm giving you for free today, and your business will see massive success because of it. Good to see everybody. I'm loving the vibes here at Miami Sellers Conference. Always good to speak in second year in a row with Miles. Loving the vibes. The first night I saw 3 of you guys walk into a tattoo parlor, so I want to know how that one ended up.
Yeah, and we do have one dire request, no ungating questions. We can hold it in for a little bit. Yeah, no ungating questions.
Sweet, let's go ahead and jump into it. Quick introduction in case anybody you guys don't know us. My name is Warner. I started selling on Amazon in 2018. Which makes me almost a dinosaur in the Amazon industry at this point. But selling used books, turned that into a nice little income through college, and then was able to go full-time as an Amazon seller after. Now we do about $2 million a year with using a lot of virtual assistants, a lot of automation, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and my name is Miles. I'm from Pennsylvania. I live here now in Miami. And in 2018, I was reselling shoes from my college dorm room. Some of you guys were even following me back then. And the YouTube algorithm gave me a recommendation of guy travels country, living in car with canoe on top of it, selling used books. And I was like, damn, there's people out here selling stuff that isn't just books. Let me follow these guys. So I started following Avery, Reezy, eventually Taylor, started doing Amazon, and waded through storage units full of used books for a while, and hung out with Avery in person in 2019 in Philadelphia, which was cool as well. And then eventually COVID hit, ungating became a thing, started selling a ton of Nike stuff, and did over $1 million my first 10 months just with that.
How many of you guys got started in books? That's the trenches back in the day. A lot of you guys, yeah,
Oh,
awesome.
beautiful. And that's the nice thing is there's so few of you guys that did, because you have it good now, unlike us. Awesome. But yeah, and then just scaled up OA, done 7 figures each year the past couple years, been able to partner up with our beautiful friends back there at SellerAmp to do some software stuff as well.
Let me get another hand raise if you're already using SellerAmp. How many of you guys are on the team? Hell yeah, that's awesome.
Beautiful.
That's awesome. So yeah, so lots of cool stuff that's come from Amazon, being able to help you guys out, make software, and yeah.
Yeah, and actually, literally, so Warner and I met because he was making YouTube videos and I was doing Instagram, and he had already followed me, and I found his page, and we got on Zoom one night, and then I spent like 45 minutes trying to find his storefront, but I couldn't. So we added into a group chat, and then this is actually a bunch of our friends at the first Miami Sellers Conference almost 3 years ago. And the cool thing is that everyone in this picture is still in the game. Like our friend Ben is traveling all over the world doing Amazon. David on the left, he's not here today, but he's doing some cool wholesale stuff. And it's just overall, other people have made everything that we've done possible. And we want those same opportunities for you guys. And we want to give you guys today a really actionable walkthrough on why and how you can actually get started with that, and really how community has been the key to the cool stuff we've been able to do.
Yeah, and it's because of groups like this where, like you're saying, you're able to stick around with Amazon. And this is probably a lot of you guys right now. You're working on the computer, 8 p.m. after the job, whatever you're up to. If you're trying to do it as a one-man show, then this is probably you, right? Like you're frustrated, it's hard to do it alone. A lot of you guys are probably one step ahead of this, which is awesome. You're here, you're taking it seriously. But this is probably where a lot of you guys are right now. And this is where you want to be. You want to have your starting 5. You want to have your championship winning team of other Amazon sellers to bounce ideas off of and make a lot of money together.
Yeah, and it's really important to understand that making friends is like literally the key to all this stuff. And that the people you see that are speaking at this conference, they're having 10, 50, 100x the conversations about selling on Amazon than the average seller. And that's why they are who they are in terms of the results they're getting. So it's just really important, like other people make this business or any business run.
For sure. Yeah, because another one of the limiting beliefs that networking really helps you get over is arbitrage scalable, right? Arbitrage is way more scalable, way more fun. We'll get into all that kind of stuff when you have friends. This was my December sales there. We did a little over 400,000. And a lot of that is just the result of sharing ideas with people, being in the right communities. And it's just the product of years talking to, smart people that you've been able to connect with through social media and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, like Warner and I met, we were both doing like 20 to 30K a month in April about 3 years ago. And then 6 months later, we both did over 150K a month, almost 500K total combined. And we knew nothing compared to what we know today and everything. And overall, like speaking to that, we are able to bounce a lot of ideas off each other. You get your questions answered as fast as possible, faster than anyone else. And occasionally you can even...
We want you guys to really understand why it's so important to have the network that you do, because even the best of us, sometimes they need help too, right?
We let it slide.
But you best believe, because Corey's in the community, he's showing a lot of love. He's hanging out with us on streams all the time. 2 minutes later, I'm getting back to him. Even if Corey needs help with the ungating question, it's okay. That's what the community's about. You're gonna be able to get those quick answers. And a lot of you guys probably have that ability already.
And Corey didn't pay Warner any money. I never paid Warner any money to be able to get the mastermind we've been able to build. And you shouldn't just see yourself as an Amazon seller. And you probably don't want to be one forever. And overall, you just get those opportunities if you give yourself the chance to get them. right? And that leads to some of the service businesses that are in the back here, or consulting or software down the line. It makes sense, even if you aren't sure if you want to do it, to at least give yourself the chance to, which costs no money to do.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like, you never know where you want to go. And a lot of times we'll get questions like, what if this happens on Amazon? What if my business goes away? If you have people in the community, especially in the Amazon space, there's gonna be people who, oh, I know real estate too. Oh, I know how to do this other business. So worst case scenario, that's what you need to understand. Maybe a lot of the Amazon people don't want to say that, right? But it's not going to be here forever. The community is, and the connections that you make, the things that they're learning, you can really leverage that. And in the long run, you're going to make way more money.
Yeah, and it's ultimately just the launching point and insurance policy. Like Avery, it was like 6 account shutdowns you dealt with, and we're still here standing. And that's a result of having other people, other opportunities, inbound opportunities coming. And it's overall just the launching point as well, in that we did content for years without making any money. And then when we decided to, it ended up being a lot more lucrative than I expected to as well. And you need to give yourself these chances, right? So Max is actually here today, right? So he just started selling on Amazon about April of last year, had never sold a product, and then did 250K in just December of this year, like 50K profit from scratch with a 9-to-5, and was like, hey, with a 9-to-5 MBA program, big Amazon business, recently got engaged. I don't have enough on my bill. Let me start a prep center out of my parents' basement. Did 20,000 units his first month. And that's a result of finding a need for his friends and having the trust and the knowledge to go ahead and do that, and just spawned a really good opportunity out of nothing from something that didn't seem like it was super important, posting some banter on Twitter here and there. But that was enough that was necessary, because let's be honest, no one's even really trying with it.
Yeah, and SellerAmp's another great example of that, right? We never would have been able to partner up with SellerAmp. A lot of you guys, greatly appreciate all of you guys who are following along and following the journey. That never would have happened without you guys following along. And these opportunities are only going to be there if you're willing to put yourself out there, get uncomfortable, and do the things that most people are not willing to do.
Yeah, and also you just really don't want to be limited by just the people that live in your geographic area, and that there's a incredibly small chance that the people that live in your small town or that you're coworkers with are gonna have potentially really good opportunities for you. But the people on the internet, statistically speaking, billions of them that you can connect with for $0, they have a significantly higher chance to. So it makes a lot of sense to put yourself out there and do some stuff and give yourself at least a chance to see some of that opportunity play out over the long term.
Absolutely. So what does this actually do for you, right? We've talked about a couple of the examples here, but we're going to get a little more tactical with you as well. And one of the really easy things you can take advantage of right away is just sharing ideas, sharing leads, whatever that means for your business, right? So the more minds that you have working on the same problem, hey, there's this sale that we're working on, just check it out. Or if you're in wholesale, there's this distributor, I can't possibly look through all this, or I can't possibly spend the amount of money that we could spend here. Do you want to look through this, see what we can find, and tag team on some stuff? So you're going to find more opportunity with less time.
And also, if you just like doing this, you'll do it enough to where it gets easy even when it's hard. So like Garrett and I literally would get on Zoom every night, like the first 6 months. I literally think we missed one day of not FaceTime. We both went 0 to 15, 20K a month profit within 6 months, and had a hell of a lot of fun doing it because we both had pages and we're talking, and we ended up finding each other. And it's the kind of thing where we would be really good friends if we went to high school together or college together or whatever. And I wouldn't have found him, he wouldn't have found me if we both didn't give ourselves the chance to.
Yeah. And even a little more tactically, right? So if you're especially doing arbitrage, that kind of thing, like you're just going to cover more area. So I know a lot of you guys were in like the pools, the chlorine, like that kind of stuff. You guys did that. Like that's a while back.
Legendary.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
There's less and less
Yeah.
every year, less and less. It's a while back, right? So the more people you have, the more area of the country you can cover, the more likely you're able to take advantage of the next pools, the next Coco Melon dolls, like a lot of these big limited time opportunities that are geographic. Having more people spread apart, obvious advantage there.
And you have to consider like what your surface area of luck is. What is the statistical probability that someone's going to be like, yo, did you see that restocked? Or did you see that XYZ items coming out? Or there's a big TikTok trend? For most Amazon sellers, it's pretty much 0, right? But for the people who give themselves a chance to, it's significantly higher. And you see that play out over the long term, and that pretty much everyone that's consistently a member of the community, they figure it out over a couple years because they do it enough, they have the feedback, and they're enjoying it to where they end up getting lucky and seeing some major compounding happen.
Yeah, so we want to get a little bit tactful now, break down some ways to network, break down some examples of people who have the super easy ways, right? We're going to go through all these, is just get around the people who have what you want. A lot of you guys are doing an excellent job of that right now, being in this room. So give yourself a pat on the back. Like you're doing the work that everyone else sitting at home, that I wish I could come, but this, or, oh, I wish I could spend an extra hour on my business, but this. You guys are the ones who are here taking it serious. So events like this are great. And then obviously social media, right? It's social for a reason, and it's going to be an excellent way to meet people. We're going to show you some awesome examples here in a second. And then Discord, free groups, Facebook, anywhere you exist online, right? Those are all great ways to meet some other Amazon sellers.
And the big thing you want to do is you got to make sure most people procrastinate doing because they're worried about creating. Warner's got the beautiful setup, the mics. We got Grant over there doing the camera work. That's not how we started though. How we started was picking up the damn camera and doing stuff. I remember being so petrified petrified in my dorm room filming myself talking for the first time, but I saw Steve did it, I saw Avery did it, I saw Reese did it, and these guys had what I wanted. So I was like, all right, there's probably something there. And the easiest thing you can do is literally just documenting what you're doing from the ground up, just showing what you're doing. Most people that consume or that want to sell on Amazon that are consuming content, they literally know nothing. And even if you're selling stuff, you have value you can provide to them. And I think you owe it to yourself to give yourself that chance.
Here's a great example. Our very own Avery here. This is 6 years ago, I think, right now. We were pulling pictures in the back trying to find some embarrassing dirt on Avery here. He's sleeping in his car, right? But he was documenting the process. Here's what I was up to. He was talking about like the bookstores he was going to and like scanning stuff, like driving around the country. But it's only because he picked up that phone 6 years ago and started like documenting the process that we're all here. And a lot of the people in the Amazon community are where we're at, right? It's just
not a big gap. Yeah, you're definitely spitting some game.
Very wise, modern philosopher, I think, in that video. Yeah.
So these guys are actually here with us today, and they are phenomenal examples of the way to do this right. So David here on the left, David's out in Oregon. He is very new to selling on Amazon, only on his 8th month, and he made 40K profit just in December, commuting home from college on the weekends to send FBA shipments. And then Aaron, is Aaron with us too here? Yeah, let's get standing up there, standing up. Yep, the man himself with the merch on. So Aaron had never sold a product on Amazon September 1st, and then he did over 100K revenue just for December right there. And he made an incredibly genius decision to post a video introducing himself to Twitter, something that very few people have done, right? But 15,000 Amazon sellers saw that he paid no money for. And then right here, subsequently, he takes off like a rocket ship and has a lot of fun doing it. He's got all his boys with him. He's got the nucleus around him with him. He's talking to those guys all day, having fun, talking through different opportunities, tearing down different ASINs and such with that. And he actually works a lot less than most people in this room that might not necessarily make the money he does because he has a lot of leverage and he gave himself the chance to capture it.
Yeah, in both of these videos so far, Avery's was very short. Aaron's is literally less than a minute. Here's who I am. Here's my goals. Here's where I'm at. Say some things that make people can relate to you, right? So he's telling a little bit about who he is as a person and he'd be crushed it, right? So I've loved seeing a ton of videos like this pop up on Twitter. I know lots of you other guys have done the same thing. And especially you guys back there, a lot of you guys have done it and you're sitting right next to the people that you're tagging and all kinds of stuff. It makes an awesome community. So if you don't have that community, literally the easiest way is 45 seconds on your phone.
Yeah, everyone can do that in the next minute and your chance of getting lucky in terms of meeting another Amazon seller for most people like 100x.
Yeah, and this one's for all the busy parents out there, right? So this is Sam. A lot of you guys maybe have seen some of the videos we made with her. She's a beast. She, 3 months into her Amazon business, she had a child and then she did 50K in the same month. So she's doing diapers, she's prepping products. I was trying to get her to come, you know how having a new kid is. So 10 months later, she was doing $1 million on Amazon, right? If you have community, she's a great example of someone who found community doing stuff like this, right? It doesn't have to be, like Miles was saying, you're not trying to teach people how to make $1 million on Amazon. Hey, so here's a funny story that happened today, right? My delivery driver said I was ordering a bunch of stuff. That immediately shows, oh, Sam's funny. Sam's buying a lot of products. Sam's an Amazon seller. Let me see what she's working on, right? So it doesn't have to be like some of the stuff that you maybe see from Miles and I. We're trying to help you guys out. Literally just tell jokes about being an Amazon seller.
And there's no quantifiable ROI to this, but it took her like 30 seconds to type or whatever, like 6,000 people saw it for free. And then the accumulation of that over time is what leads to people inviting you to their group. It's what leads to people putting you onto a different opportunity because you should document becoming someone people want to know because it tells your story over time. And now Sam gets invites to calls all the time or whatever. And she has to work a lot less than most people do and does incredibly good numbers for someone in their first year. Yeah. So look at where you consume content. That's a question I get all the time by people who are procrastinating, just hitting the record button. Okay, where do I actually post? Wherever you consume stuff makes the most sense, right? Like, you're probably not gonna be doing super edited YouTube videos, but you can pick up the camera like Steve did, like I did, like Warner did, like Avery did, like pretty much every other speaker here, and let the people come to you because the algorithms are good. There's tons of people consuming stuff, essentially no one producing stuff. So all the opportunity, all the money, all the opportunity flows to the people that give themselves a chance.
Yeah, so practically what should you share, right? We showed you a couple examples. Hopefully a couple of you guys are gonna take advantage of this kind of stuff. So what should you be sharing? How can you show other people that you're serious about this kind of stuff, right? Super simple example. We love just boxes you got going out, right? A lot of you guys are already doing this kind of stuff and it's led to people saying, oh, they're serious about Amazon, right? Milestones. Hey, Sam was sharing her first $1 million. Share your first $1,000, $100, doesn't matter. Whatever is a good milestone for you, brag about it. Lessons learned, W's, L's, all that kind of stuff. And Miles is big on consistency.
Yeah, the consistency is what's actually important because if you just do it once, it's not going to work. But if you do it over a year or two, people are going to be like, damn, I remember when you were just getting your first sales and stuff. And it shows people that you're serious, that you're doing stuff. And when you do have a question, like Warner gets all the time, I get all the time in the DMs, the first thing I do is I look at the person's profile and the person who is serious, I can see that they're doing Amazon stuff. For better or for worse, they get a much higher quality answer than most people do.
Yeah, you just need other legit sellers to see that you're a legit seller taking things seriously. And you got to get your seat at the digital lunch table, right? 6 6th grade, high school, whatever it is, you know the classes not to take, and you know who's dating now and all that kind of stuff, right? It's the same thing, except now the digital lunch table makes you a lot more money, right? Hey, here's the wholesalers you want to avoid, or hey, here's this website that's on sale today. There's tons of stuff you can go source, right? And it's not just on social media, right? There's lots of other places that you can start making these connections.
Yeah, and you can cheat on the test too. Literally, there's a test of getting rich on Amazon, and you can cheat on it as much as you want. And it just makes a lot of sense too. Yeah, and Discord groups, we made a free group. Literally, it's probably the best decision I've ever made besides DMing you on Twitter that first time, you know? And everything with 50,000 members. There's tons of great Facebook groups. There's tons of other good Discords, and you can really quickly find people that are in your area. You can hit the search bar, search your area, common interests, sports, hobbies, whatever, and find people that you would hang out with in person that you don't have to drive to see or fly to see, that you can hang out with on Zoom, Discord, and solve these problems with a lot easier.
Yeah, and it literally takes 4 sentences, right? I like this example. If you're trying to make connections and you're in a group that is actually engaged and there's people that you want to be similar to, I love this example. I'm from LA, bang. If you're from California, oh, I'm from California, there's something to connect on, right? Been selling on Amazon for a little bit, right? Existing Amazon sellers right away, you can see, okay, he knows what's up. I'm selling a little bit. I need to find some friends though. This guy's looking for friends. He's saying he's an athlete. So if you're an athlete, hey, I played baseball in college, or hey, I played basketball in high school, stuff to connect on. And then boom, just a super simple, easy way to connect there. And I don't know if you knew we were putting him on blast here, but follow my boy James here, trying to get his name out there. And it's a really good example of super simple, quick message that you can put out there.
Yeah, now instantly more people know information about him and have a chance to connect with him, build with him, etc., than the vast majority of people who are doing this. Yeah, so overall, just like the same thing, you might be worried, okay, I don't have anything I can help with. You will eventually. But Sam literally is showing how she's answering people's questions and such. Paolo's another good example. He does 6 figures a month with a job. He's answering people's questions in a forum community. And then Sam needed help eventually, and now she's been helped and she's freed, and is showing that she got the feedback necessary for that question and now gets to avoid a lot of potential mistakes she would normally otherwise have to deal with if she was doing it on her own.
Yeah, because she's hanging out in the Discord, being friendly to people know her, and then when she needs help, bang, she's gonna get a lot easier help than some of you guys who maybe have never existed in public.
Yeah, so you need to talk to other people you see yourself connecting with. It's a team sport. Like, I know exactly if a really good opportunity drops, my boys in the back left there, they're the first ones who might hear about it, right? And that doesn't cost them any money to go ahead and get plugged into and such. And it's just a hell of a lot easier to find. If you do this on your own, you have to find all the opportunity on your own. You have to get feedback way slower. You have to find all the leads on your own. And if you don't, it's a hell of a lot easier. It's a hell of a lot more fun. And it just makes this overall experience a lot doable and more simple. And that's why we're at events like this.
Yeah. So with the Discord messages, people on Twitter, right? So you can also come to the people, right? You're making videos. You're hoping that people will come to you, but you also go out and got to talk to people, right? I stole 2 of these from Aaron yesterday. I liked what you said. Full credit to Aaron. If you want to reach out to somebody, compliment them, right? I liked what you're talking about. Compliment something that they're working on in their business, right? Answer a question that's related to what they're posting, right? So if they're saying, hey, I got an IP complaint today, and they're ranting about it on Twitter, say, hey, here's the quick, simple process. Here's how I did it. Here's one I beat in the past. Let me know if you need anything. And if you're both like legit sellers on the same level, there's a really good shot that they're going to think about you next time that they need some help.
Yep, and the same thing with just giving other tips. If you see a bunch of beautiful Nike boxes in someone's picture on Twitter, if you have the tip for selling Nike, plug that in. Like, the little injections of goodwill into the marketplace accumulate to something that you just can't ignore over the long term, and you'll see that as you do it more. Yeah, and so overall, just as you guys are here, you have an incredible opportunity to build massive social proof, right? Because people can see that you're very serious about this if you're here. The other people in this room are also clearly very serious. There's a great opportunity to connect with them, as well as to show posting that you're at Miami Sellers Conference, showing your face, maybe making a video recapping it. I have on my to-do list for tomorrow to share a guide of everything I learned, so people who didn't come here can take that, and that leverage is going to come back to me for no money as a result of that, right? So posting and tagging us or taking pictures with other speakers or making a recap is going to benefit you a lot, and it takes very little time to do, and all the opportunity flows back to you if you give yourself a chance to.
Yeah, so we want to give you a couple action items. Hopefully now you have good examples. You know how to go out and network, right? If you don't already, make a social media account. Don't care where, Twitter, Instagram, whatever it is. Tag Miles and I. We love sharing you guys. They're actively working on stuff. You sure you see it all over the place, especially on Twitter. People throwing out box pictures, tagging us. We love plugging that stuff, right? Talk to at least 10 more new people today, right? I'm sure you've already been out the comfort zone. Get more out of the comfort zone, right? Try to kind of exchange socials, because hopefully you've made that. If you don't already have socials, now you're going to have socials to exchange.
And then also just get around other people. If you like looking on Facebook, do stuff on Facebook, right? Twitter is not really a group, but it's just like, if you scroll on my feed, I'm retweeting people like crazy and such. And just get around people that are doing it, and you'll absorb a lot of good info by osmosis. And these are like all my Southeast PA stallions right there, 30 deep at that dinner. A couple of those guys are here right now. Now, it really unfortunately breaks my heart that I know for a fact that in every city in America, there's guys like this that would have a ton of fun together. They would talk all day. They would build all day. day that unfortunately probably are never going to meet each other because they're incredibly afraid to hit the record button and such. This is in like Philadelphia, like a relatively large city, but not like the biggest. And I just don't see this anywhere else because people aren't giving themselves a chance to capture it.
So take action on this kind of stuff. Don't be alone, right? You need to do this journey with other Amazon sellers. If you don't already follow us all over on social media and stuff, YouTube, Miles and I are both on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. You can check us out there. Check out SellerAmp if you're not already using it. And then Miles got the Buy Box Bandits podcast, which is super awesome.
Yep. So yeah, thank you guys. We really appreciate it. And shout out Avery and Taylor for putting this on.
And Kate.